Hundreds of thousands of Philadelphia voters will be casting ballots in the all-important 2020 general election. In the past, all focus was on Election Day, which this year falls on November 3rd. However, voting law changes mean citizens now have options. If you're a registered voter, you can apply online right now with the City Commissioner's Office to receive a mail-in ballot. Applications for mail-in voting must be received by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, October 27th, in order to be processed. Mail-in has already proven to be a popular choice, largely due to safety concerns related to coronavirus. In the June primary, the city commissioners received 30 times more applications for mail voting than it did in the 2016 general election. However, mail-in ballots put significant responsibility on the voter to get it right. Be sure to read the instructions and complete your ballot carefully. Your ballot can be disqualified for a variety of user errors. It could be because of multiple votes for the same office, incomplete or stray marks that cast uncertainty as to the choice, failure to provide a signature, or failure to return your ballot in the proper secrecy envelope. If you have questions about mail-in voting, you can go to the City Commissioner's website at philadelphiavotes.com, or you can consult the State of Pennsylvania's website at votespa.com. Again, the sooner you act to get your ballot, the more time there is to address potential issues. Of course, you always have the time-tested option of voting in person on Election Day. But a new twist is the opportunity to vote early through a process called absentee in-person voting. The period for early in-person voting began in some parts of the state on Monday, September 14th, and will run to Tuesday, October 27th. Philadelphia began opening the first of 17 new voting centers on Tuesday, September 29th, to accommodate this early vote. If you make a plan for voting, you definitely want to be prepared to make choices on your ballot, especially because the traditional straight party voting option is no longer available for this election. Voters must mark their ballot or press a button for each race individually. Obviously, the U.S. presidential election is the biggest race. But there's also 3 races for statewide office, U.S. congressional races, state House and Senate races, plus 4 Philadelphia ballot questions to consider. Incumbent Republican President Donald Trump is running for re-election in what has been a bruising, rancorous campaign against Democratic challenger Joe Biden. Biden, who served 8 years as vice president under former President Obama, finally won the nomination in his 3rd try for the White House. That segues to our statewide races. A hotly contested one features incumbent Attorney General Josh Shapiro against Republican challenger Heather Heitlebaugh. Shapiro made big headlines in his first term. In 2018, he issued a grand jury report that uncovered sexual abuse of over 1,000 children by 300 Catholic priests. He also joined with other state AGs to oppose President Trump's travel ban. Heitlebaugh is an experienced trial lawyer from Pittsburgh. She formerly served on the Governor's Commission on Judicial Appointment. She once drew national attention for a voter fraud lawsuit against the national progressive group Acorn. She has broad GOP backing, but Heitlebaugh has ruffled the party as a frequent critic of its leader, Donald Trump. That may hurt her showing in the Trump-friendly rural areas that she badly needs to offset Shapiro's blue county support. The state auditor race has a local angle. Nina Ahmad won the Democratic primary to face Republican Timothy DeFore. Ahmad is a Philadelphian who graduated from Penn and Thomas Jefferson University in becoming a microbiologist and an entrepreneur. She recently served as deputy mayor for public engagement under Mayor Jim Kenney. Originally an immigrant from Bangladesh, Ahmad could become the first woman of color to serve as a statewide executive in Pennsylvania's history. DeFore began his career as an investigator in the PA Office of Inspector General, then the Attorney General's Office, where he investigated fraud and waste in state government and the Medicaid program. Later, DeFore served as internal auditor for the University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, before being elected as Dauphin County Controller in 2015. Although she has an impressive background, Ahmad has no specific experience as an auditor. DeFore has more extensive qualifications. But in a high turnout presidential election year, the support Ahmad draws from vote-rich Philadelphia may be a deciding factor in this race. Philadelphia also boasts an area candidate for state treasurer. Incumbent Joe Torsella graduated from Penn, served as deputy mayor under former mayor Ed Rendell, and became the first president and CEO of the National Constitution Center. Stacey Garrity is a retired Army Reserve colonel who served 3 deployments in Iraq. She is currently vice president for a global supply company. Garrity touts herself as a political outsider who will demand transparency and return $3.5 billion in unclaimed property to Pennsylvania taxpayers. She questions Torsella's commitment to the office and challenged him to sign a pledge that promises voters he will fill all 4 years of his term, if re-elected. Moving to congressional races, there are elections for the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th districts covering Philadelphia. Incumbent Democrats Brendan Boyle, Dwight Evans, and Mary Gay Scanlon are heavy favorites for re-election in their respective races. In Philadelphia area state house races, only 9 of the 26 contests are actually contested. Democrats are virtual locks for re-election in 7 of them. However, Republican incumbent Martina White is favored in District 170 of the far Northeast. In state Senate, Philly incumbents Sharif Street, John Sabatina, and Vincent Hughes are running without Republican opposition. Staunch progressive Nick Saval upset incumbent Larry Farnese in the Democratic primary and is also unchallenged in the general. Don't forget, there's also 4 ballot questions to consider. The first would ban the controversial police practice of stop and frisk. The second would establish an office of victim advocate. The third would establish a police oversight commission. The fourth seeks approval to borrow $134 million for capital projects. So, to recap, make sure you're registered to vote. Make sure you make a voting plan. And make sure you do your homework regarding all your races. For PhillyCAM Voices, this is Dennis Link.